Good morning. My name is Lisa Daisel. A very warm welcome to this session about informational interviews for creative job search. We apologize for the delay. We've just experienced some technical challenges. We want to start with the session by just doing a welcome and an introduction to our speaker. We are welcoming back Ms. Rasuna Maluleke from the Department of Higher Education and Training, and she'll be talking this morning about informational interviews for a creative job search. So what we've got up next is I'm just going to ask my colleague, Mrs. Mandu Mukanya, to welcome our speaker to the session. Thank you, Mandu.
Thank you, Lisa. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me pleasure today to introduce our speaker. Mr. Rasuna Maluleke is with the Career Development Services, also known as KETA, within the Department of Higher Education and Training. She holds a postgraduate qualification and has 11 years of work experience working with learners, students, and graduates in higher education space. She has worked as an HR practitioner and she's currently a career advisor within the Department of Higher Education and Training. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Maluleke. Thank you, Lisa.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you very much for a great introduction. As Mrs. Makanya Mandu has mentioned, my name is Rasuna Maluleke. I come from the Department of Higher Education and Training within Career Development Services. We are going to be talking about informational interview. So you can, for now, you can type in your expectations that you have regarding the mock informational interview, what you would like to learn, and also what you're expecting, so that we're able to cover it on today's presentation. The purpose of this workshop is to provide a basic introduction, definitely about who we are as Career Development Services, why informational interviews matter, and also providing tips and guidelines on how to conduct informational interviews. Okay, so Career Development Services, what we do, we provide career counseling, career guidance, and career information. And just briefly, our beneficiaries are students such as you. We speak to people of all ages, parents, people living with disabilities, offenders, NGOs, education and training entities, people not in employment, education, or training, which is the NEET youth, career changes, and educators. As you can see at the bottom, that is our logo, which is KETA. KETA means to choose, and we are saying to you, make the right choice and decide your future. Okay. The reason why we exist is because we want all people of all ages to have quality and also access the quality career information through their lives, and also to better and to be more informed regarding their career choices, to deliver high levels of employment, and also to help to increase sustainability growth in the country. We exist mainly because of the high unemployment rate, the mismatch between demand and supply, the high number of learners who never received career information and career advice. A person such as me, I never received career advice or information while I was still in high school. No, I only got to realize that when I got to tertiary. And maybe some of you might not even know that UNISA has got the counseling and career development directorate, where you can also get assistance in terms of your studies and any other aspects of life which are affecting your studies, anything related to your studies or career. And we also have got the dropout a high rate within the PSET system, and this is also to promote lifelong learning. Right. So how do you get hold of career development services? We've got multi-channels. I'll just briefly discuss them. We have got the telephone line, email, and also the live chat. On the telephone line, it's either you send us an SMS or you send us a please call me, and then we'll be able to call you within 24 hours to 72 hours. The email, we are also able to respond back to you and have a conversation regarding what it is that you need us to assist you with. And within our career help website, we have got what we call a live chat. On the live chat, you are able to speak to an advisor that is available at that particular time, and you'll be able to be assisted right there and then. We also have got the communication and outreach unit, whereby we train LO teachers, we train the niche youth, we train students, we train Triple S and the NGO. So in terms of the students or the niche youth, we're able to train you on employability skills, have workshops such as this where we talk about informational interviews and anything related to careers. We are also having the counseling and assessment unit where they administrate career choices and subject choice assessments and also provision of career counseling. We also have got the information services unit that is responsible for collating and quality checking every information that we share with our clients. And then we also have got the policy and coordination unit that I won't really go much in detail. Right, so any reflections, please do include them on the chat box and we'll be able to discuss them. So as you can see there, you see two people on your top left, and it says informational interview at the bottom. You could be asking yourself, what is informational interview? An informational interview, as you can see, maybe you can be brainstorming while we are discussing this. It's a meeting between a person who wants to learn more about a career field or a specific industry. You are currently studying as an individual and you could be wondering that what is within my career field? What more can I explore within my career field, right? So you learn more about the career industry or the specific industry. So this meeting, you have it with a person working in that career field that you want to know more about. Okay. Now, the goal is to get a better understanding of their job and also the career field that they are currently in or that you would like to be in. And informational interviewing is not a job interview. Hence, you can see on my previous slide that it said job informational, and then we crossed out the job, right, on that picture. So informational interviewing is not a job interview. It is a tool to learn more about a career path that piques your interest. The purpose of an informational interview is to gather information about a specific career or an organization that you're interested in, to see if you fit your interest or personality, and also if it fits your values that you have. Because sometimes you might find that some organizational cultures, they do not fit your value, the values that you hold as an individual. So when you do an informational interview, you're able to check and see whether the organizational structure, the organizational culture as well, do they fit your personality? Do they also match in terms of the interest that you have when it comes to the career development as well, and also your values? Now, the benefits of informational interview are as follows. When you do an informational interview, you will get first-hand information. This gives you access to up-to-date information within the career field that you are interested in, or that the industry that you'll be venturing into. As you get to know about the up-to-date information, which is the first-hand information that you get with a person that is already within the career field, you also get to expand your professional network. When you expand your professional network, you already know that should you have other uncertainties or you need to know more about the career field, you have that one person that is already working within the career field to ask question or to prompt question from, right? So it gives you exposure to your future work industry, and also you gain clarity or you also clear up the assumptions that you had regarding that specific career field. As it gives you the exposure, you also gain insight into a specific career field that you're interested in. For example, if you are currently studying, you are within the accounting field currently, and you are not sure whether you want to become, or you are actually sure that you want to become an auditor, for instance, but you need more information regarding other specializations as you're becoming an accountant, or you can specialize in taxation. So you can do various informational interviews so that when you get to specialize, you know that actually I want to specialize in taxation. Therefore, what does taxation entail? The work environment, how is it like? You know, the salary range, how is it like? So it is a safe platform where you can be asking questions such as the salary range, the environment that you'll be working in. That's when you get to explore and gain insight into a specific career field. And the next benefit is that you will learn new career paths that you didn't even know that they existed. Sometimes you find that we get to do or enroll for a qualification, not understanding what it entails or understanding the job titles thereof, right? So as you are doing an informational interview, you will learn that, well, in fact, you don't only end up at your BCom level if you're doing accounting, or any other qualification that you currently that you're currently doing. Could be a diploma, a bachelor, and the list goes on. So you will get to learn the path, the career path that is there for your career. For example, you might be studying law and you didn't know that you can actually study further and do articles and become an advocate, right? So that career path, the steps that you need to take in order to get there to your end goal, these are things that you will get to learn as you are doing the informational interview. Also get tips about how do you prepare for a given career or to enter into an industry. So the person that you get to have an informational interview with will be able to tell you how they got to prepare. You explore career options that are available. You'll also learn in terms of the type of growth or development that is within that career field. Or sometimes you might find that maybe where they are currently working, they are stuck. They don't know if they can move. However, there are other organizations or companies where you can further your studies or maybe get further training, and then you are able to go up the ladder and also gain career development and growth. The informational interviews guidelines. What you need to do is, firstly, before you start off with the preparation or requesting a meeting with the person that you've identified to do an informational interview with, the most important thing is that you need to reflect about your vision and also link it to your current qualification and the end goal. Think about what is it that you want to become, and also link it to your interests, your values, abilities as well. So as you're linking it, you will know that because I want to become an auditor at the end of the day, and I'm still studying my BCom, So what steps do I need to take? Who do I need to talk to, right? As you are reflecting about your vision, how you want to become an auditor, where you want to work as well, you need to do research at the end of the day. So identify the job title that you're interested in. So in this instance, the job title will be auditor, right? Now you reflect on your current situation. What do I currently have? And for me to become an auditor, what other steps do I need to take in order to get there? Which is the end goal. Now, you've identified the job title, the occupation. Now, the most important thing is to do research, right? You do research regarding the occupation that you've identified. And also, who are you going to talk to? Which organization do they work for? Now, how do you start looking for people to have an informational interview with? You can start mainly from your circle. Check around you if there are people that are currently an auditor or working as an auditor. If not, check amongst your friends, check amongst your community, then go out. As you're studying, you check with your lecturers. You can also check with the counselor for a referral within the institution at this date, which is UNISA. So you can go to the counseling department and check with them, ask for referrals if they can refer you to an auditor that they might know, or within the institution, can be a lecturer as well, they might know someone, then you are able to have that point of reference where you can start. Another point of reference where you can check or identify a person that you can contact for an informational interview is via social media. You can use social media effectively to your favor, right? For example, you can use LinkedIn, which is a professional platform for one, whereby you can be following different companies where people, an auditor or a specific individual. Normally, they write what their profession is. Therefore, you can actually follow them and just write them a request. But you don't write them a request right there and then. You first start to identify the person and also identify the company of your interest where you would like to work, or an organization where you would like to work. And you can also speak to an HR practitioner or an HR manager to link you up with a person within the company where you would like to work to have this informational interview to take place. Now that you've identified a person, you've identified a company of your interest, and you've done your reflection and you've done your research regarding the company where you would want to go and work for, or you want to know more about. Therefore, the next step is that you would need to contact the person that you've got the contact details of. You can contact them via email and set up the interview. Now, as you're setting up the interview, you must know it's either you will be contacting them via telephone. If you contact them via telephone, you need to send a follow-up, which is an email to say that as per our telephone conversation, this is what you've requested and this is what you've concluded on your telephone to set up the meeting, so that they get to remember. And then you take the initiative as the lead role to set up the meeting with the interviewee that you've identified. So ensure that you prepare questions and also an elevator pitch, right? This is just an introduction that you're going to prepare regarding who you are, what you want, and what you want to learn. The purpose of the meeting that you'll be having with the interviewee regarding the informational interview. Now, as you prepare the day before, ensure that you have prepared your questions regarding what you are going to be talking about with the interviewee, and also conducting yourself professionally. Ensure that you prepare as if you are going to an interview. Even though this is not a formal setup, however, do look professional, look serious regarding what you want. Show enthusiasm, be enthusiastic regarding your the role that you are taking on that particular date. Show interest in what you're asking, as well as you will be conducting the interview the following day or whenever the date that you've set, right? So when you conduct the interview, ensure that you do not waste the interviewee's time. Be precise, straight to the point. Ask open-ended questions that you will gain information from, something that you know that at the end of the day, it has clarified your assumptions regarding the role or the career. It has clarified your assumptions regarding different things or aspects about your career field, right? And then also, when you are conducting this interview, the informational interview, let's say it's the day of the interview, make sure that you wake up on time. As if you are going to an interview, you wake up on time, prepare, get there at least 15 minutes before, because a lot can happen on your way there. So ensure that you also you get time. Should anything happen, you know that you'll get there on time. You arrive 15 minutes before, wait for them, and then start off with the interview. Ensure that you also take up the leading role in terms of this informational interview. So when you're preparing a list of questions as well, before I forget, you also need to prepare questions to ask or to learn more about the career field and the industry. You also prepare questions to learn more about the interviewee, because you would need to know more about them. How did they end up at the role that they at, or the organization that they are working for? How does a typical day look on a daily basis for them, right? Ask questions such as, how did they get involved in that particular role, or how did they move up the ladder in terms of gaining promotion to a stage, to the role that they are currently holding? And also ask previous history of their work experience. Where did they start? What did they study? Where did they work after their studies as they graduated? What experience was needed? Also, what other training did they need in order to get to where they are currently as you are interviewing them? And then when you're asking about the career field itself, learn more about the organization that they are currently in, the culture that the organization has, and also if they know other cultures, if other organizations have got similar cultures. As you know that each and every organization, they've got their own culture and the way they run things within the company or the organization. And as I've mentioned earlier, that this is a safe space whereby you get to ask information regarding the salary range. What is the salary range when a person is an auditor? What is the salary range as you're moving up into becoming an auditor? Because they would need to know, are you currently a student? Are you a graduate? Have you done an internship? What needs to be done? So you will learn more regarding the steps that you need to take as you move up your career, as you develop in your career field. Right, so in terms of the industry, the kind of you also need to ask open-ended questions. Ask questions that are going to reflect on your research. Make sure that when you are talking to the interviewee, most of your questions reflect to the research that you have done, so that it shows that there's some type of work that you've done. However, all you need from them is for them to fill in the gaps that are missing, and also to clarify some of the uncertainties that you've had regarding the career field or the industry itself. Okay, so you can read articles regarding the organization. You can look at the current trends of the industry and the career field as well. Look at the trends, what has been happening, take out something that is positive, and ask also, how has maybe something that is negative, how does it affect the industry and the productivity of their work in terms of the particular challenge that you've identified. So as I've mentioned, this is a safe space when you're doing an informational interview to learn, right? So once you've conducted the interview with the interviewee, you're gonna go back home. Definitely you will thank them, and then you're gonna go back home. You need to reflect about what you've learned, if your expectations were covered, if it matches your personality and your interest as well. Reflect about, will you be able to gain growth within that? Will you be able to grow and expand within your career field or not? The other organizations that hire a person within your career field or someone with a similar qualification as that you currently hold or that you're going to be having at the end when you graduate. So these are type of things that you need to reflect about. Take notes as you're having this informational interview. So the minute you start with the informational interview, you need to take notes. If you can't take notes, maybe looking at the time that you've set for the informational interview, you can just kindly ask the interviewee if you can record the conversation that you will be having with them, so that when you go back home, you're able to reflect fully in terms of the conversation that you've had, and you don't get to forget anything that you've discussed on that particular day. So after the interview, as I've mentioned, so you are going to send a thank you note. As you've reflected, you're going to send a thank you note to the interviewee, thanking them for their time and the information that they've provided. Don't be a stranger, colleagues, to the people that you have interviewed for informational interview, because they come in very handy as one of the people who form part of your network, right? And they can also give you a referral one day. So you can ask for one other contact where you can also go have another informational interview, fill in the gaps of what is missing from the previous one, or maybe now you want to know about another specialization. Maybe they know a person in who has done taxation, specializes in taxation, so you'll be able to speak to them. It's still within the same line of career, so you'll be able to speak to them and learn more about what taxation entails and all that. So this is very crucial that you keep them in mind, and also just save their contact and ensure that they are part of your network. So when you gain another contact, it's part of your referral. This person is an addition to your network. Not forgetting your peers that you've been studying with, they also form part of your network. So you get to have this information. If you want to share the information with some of your peers, you can, or what you can do with your peers as well as you are preparing for an informational interview, you can say that you go have a look at taxation, I will go have a look at auditor and so forth. A person can go and look, who's currently doing law, they can go and look at an attorney, a person, another one an advocate, the other one a conveyancer, right? So you would know that we've accumulated all this information, and all these three people can form part of your network, social network. So you can, all three of you can rotate with the three interviewees that you've identified, asking them questions, and they will all form part of your network. Right. So tips on how to optimize an informational interview. Ensure that you are professional. You show you show enthusiasm in terms of when you are rendering this, and then you do research and ask open-ended questions, as I have mentioned. You take the lead in terms of having the conversation. However, as you are taking a lead, don't be arrogant about it. However, do listen, ask appropriate questions, show positivity as well, and listen more than you talk, right? As your interviewee is giving you the information, interact with them fully. However, do listen more and ask follow-up questions from what they have given you, the information that they've given you. Ask follow-up questions for more information or to clarify certain uncertainties. And also avoid asking for a job. I know that sometimes one could fall into a trap whereby you'll be asking for a job because you've just graduated, you're excited, and all you want is a job. However, remember that this is not the part or the time for you to be asking for a job, but to be knowing more or learning more about the career field and the industry. As they form part of your network, when something pops up, definitely they will remember you that, oh, okay, let me just share this information with Rofiwa or with Johanna or whoever that I have seen that have had an informational interview with me. Let me plug them with this job opportunity so that they can apply for it because we've spoken. And you can also use your interviewee. They can become your mentor at the end of the day. And you will never know. One day they might recommend you for a job, right? Because they know that you are excited, you are interested, and you want to learn more about the career field that they're in. Many a times you find that the people that we get to request for an informational interview, they are very excited in sharing their work experience, life experience as well. Everything that links to the career field that you want to be in, that they are currently in. And it's just exciting to share information with a young one and tell them how it has been and how they got to start when they were doing the job, or how they started on their career field and how the journey has taken them to where they are currently. And also respect the interviewee's time is very crucial. Remember, they made time out for you to come and ask them questions. So make sure that you ask them proper questions, appropriate questions that relate directly to your career field or the industry or the organization that you want to learn more about. As I've mentioned, I cannot emphasize this enough, colleagues, to say that you are going to use this opportunity to network. As you are networking, if they've got social media platforms, do follow them on social media platforms. You'll be surprised that maybe on LinkedIn, there's more information that they've put in there. And you know that on LinkedIn, you also get to like other organizations. So do check on their LinkedIn profile, what other organizations did they like? Are they related to your career field? Follow those organizations so that you get to learn more about the opportunities that they have, the career field itself, the industry, the occupation itself, so you know more and you are more knowledgeable regarding that field. Right. So I hope you are writing a few comments on the comment section so that we can have a discussion regarding them, right? So yeah, I think I'm coming to an end. Okay, yeah. Any reflections, feel free to reflect on the comment section. Unfortunately, currently I can't see anything on the comment section until I'm done with my presentation. So I will just continue with the presentation and then we'll look at the comment section and have a discussion. Okay, so the resources, you can visit the Career Help website on www.careerhelp.org.za. You can speak to a career advisor here and within Career Development Services, and we'll be able to either refer you to different organizations or link you up in terms of the process on how can you find a professional within a specific organization that you can speak to regarding your career field of if you want to learn more. So I'll give you our contact details on how you can actually get hold of us and how we can communicate further, right? Another option is that you can also use the resources within UNISA, whereby you can visit the UNISA website and speak to a career advisor there as well within the Directorate of Counseling and Career Development. And that is the link where you can learn more about the services that counseling and career development within UNISA have. Within that, the support that they can give to you, and also ask for resources that are related to informational interviews that you can use, so that you know that you can learn more about other questions that you can ask to an interviewee, other questions that you can ask regarding an industry and how you need to structure that. Okay, so our contact details are as follows. You can send us an SMS, tell us who you are and what kind of information or help you need on 072 204 5056, and we'll be able to get back to you within at least 24 to 72 hours. Or preferably, you can contact us on the 086 number, which is a shared call. You buy R5 airtime, you tell us who you are, and ask us to call you back. We will definitely contact you back immediately. It is the 086 number 999 0123. And we are available from Monday to Friday from 8 o'clock until 4:30 working hours. And you can send us an email as well on careerhelp@dhet.gov.za. You can also visit our website that I've shared before, which is the careerhelp.org.za, where you can speak to an advisor immediately. You can follow us as well on social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our Facebook handle is, you can search for us on Career Advice Portal, and you will see the CATA logo that I spoke about in the beginning as I was introducing career development services. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can just, our handle on Twitter is RSA Career Help. It's also the same handle on Instagram, RSA Career Help. So on our social media platforms, we post available opportunities on a weekly basis, where you can maybe get an opportunity regarding scholarships to study abroad, opportunities from different organizations like your NYDA, that they also currently have other opportunities to study abroad for summer opportunities as well. And any other organization that gets to have an internship or a learnership and any other opportunity, we post it. However, we ensure that we validate the information and ensure that the information is reliable before we put it on our social media platforms. Otherwise, we are located in Pretoria at 123 Francis Bart, room 300. So walk-ins are available as well. You can come through to our office. You walk in at the Department of Higher Education and Training, tell them that you are going to Office 300 and at the Career Development Services, and we will definitely come pick you up from the ground floor and ensure that you get the services and the help that you need. So from my side, Risuna Maluleke, thank you very much for your time. And thank you for inviting me. I hope there are questions on the chat box. All right, thank you very much, colleagues, for the questions. I see Tyron here has asked, what questions do I ask? So as you, let's say now you're currently at the, you are having a conversation with your interviewee. As I've mentioned, that you need to prepare questions for your interviewee, where you will get to know more about the interviewee, the industry that they are in or you want to be in, and also asking questions related to your career, right? So there has to be a link. Once you've done your research, you'll understand that within that organization, this individual, they are working as a lawyer, or they're working as an attorney, or a social work you name it, any other career field that you are currently in and you're interested in. So the question that you can maybe ask an interviewee to know more about them is how did they end up at the position that they are currently in? What was the procedure that they took, to be there? How did they apply for the position? Or the work experience, because for one to become an auditor, definitely you've went through other jobs to work your way up to becoming an auditor, and you've studied further. So these are the processes that you need to know. What process did they take? What's this? Where what did they study? What was required of them? Was the training required of them to do that? Were they supposed to start off with an internship before they can become what they are currently? What other job positions did they go through? So that you know that as a graduate, if I'm doing accounting or any other field, the next step is that I need to get an internship. Next step is that I need to get an entry-level job, just like that. So these are the type of questions that you can ask an interviewee, and also ask because you want to know how on a daily basis, how do they get to work? What does their day look like on a typical day? What is a typical day for them? What time do they start off? What do they do on that particular day, a week, a month, and all that? Are there reports that they need to write, and so forth? So these are the kind of questions that you can ask. So in relation to your career, you can ask a question about, I know that we all want to know, how much will I be earning at that particular position once I'm in? So you can ask a question and say, what is the salary range within this job post or position that you are currently in? So they will definitely estimate. If they are kind enough, they might tell you the exact amount that they are currently earning, right? So do ask such questions, and also ask the experience needed for your career path, for the career that for the occupation that they're currently in. What is the experience that is needed? Like I mentioned, do they need 3 years experience, 5? Do they need articles? Do they want to go for a 12-month internship? Then is there a registration required with a certain body that you need to register with? Because these are very crucial questions that you need to ask in terms of your career field. Once you are done, is there a certain body that you need to go and register with, right? So thank you very much, Tyron. The second question is, how can I find people to talk to? I think I've covered this one. Pumla, what you can do, Pumla and colleagues, is that you can start off on your circle, right? Check your peers. Do they know anyone that is within your career field that you can talk to? If they do not know anyone, you go to the community, your neighbors, your community members at church and wherever gatherings and so forth. You ask, I actually want to become an auditor. I want to become a social worker. So do you know any person within this profession that you can talk to? And then they'll definitely identify someone. If you still can't get that, you go to your institution, UNISA, ask a career counselor if they can refer you to someone within that profession, or they can refer you to a lecturer within that profession, or you can contact one of your lecturers if they know anyone that they can refer you to, so that you get to learn more regarding the career field that you're in, and they'll be able to refer. Another platform that you can use, which is also very effective, it's social media platforms. So the one platform that I like on social media, it's actually LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a professional platform where you can get professionals within your career field. You get organizations that hire people within your career field, and then you can follow the people, you can follow the organization and learn more about the organization and also the particular individual. Now, because individuals do write, professionals do write on their LinkedIn profile that they are currently working as this person, then they write their job title, and then you would know immediately, oh, actually, this is you can even search for those type of job titles, and people will actually, a list of people will come up on the poll. So you can pull from one of them, you like them, you follow them, I mean, and then you now prepare questions that you can ask, and also you prepare a pitch that you need to use in order to introduce yourself professionally, so that they know what you want and you're straight to the point, right? And then another question says, do you have examples of how I can approach people to talk to, e.g. by email? Currently, I don't have an example of by email. However, the steps that I have given you is that, firstly, before you talk to someone, you would need to identify them. So let's just say you've already identified a professional that you want to have a conversation with regarding the informational interview. The reason why I keep on saying conversation, it's not you are not going to interrogate them. You're going to have a conversation with the interviewee. So it's quite informal, but you need to look professional and be present at that interview. So you can just identify the person, know their title. Please ensure that you write the correct title. If it's a doctor, you say, dear Dr. So-and-so. If it's a miss or a professor, you ensure that you write the correct title to show that you've done your research about this individual, the professional. Now you write, dear Dr. So-and-so. You introduce yourself, who you are, what you've studied, the career field that you're interested in, and the role. What is it that you want to know and learn? So you prepare a pitch speech, and in terms of how can you now, so that they get to know what is it that you want, and you are straight to the point. Okay, so that's how you can get to structure your email, Pumla and colleagues. Nandi, do you have examples of how I can approach people? Okay, that we've done. Anonymous saying how to approach a profession. Okay, interview for an executive position to a startup position. So if I understand this correctly, Anonymous, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, I see you've got a follow-up question there. So basically you want to know, how do you approach a professional and do an informational interview with an executive position to a startup position? I'm not quite sure if I understand that correctly, but okay, you have a follow-up. I'm not sure if the second Anonymous is still the same Anonymous. You mentioned that I expect to get an understanding of interviews and best way to answer interview questions. Okay, so this is one of your expectations. So in terms of the interviews here, this one is an informational interview, and it's not an informational interview. It's not an interview for you to get a job. However, we spoke about this is an informational interview for you to get to learn more about your career field, you get to learn more about the industry, and also you get to learn more about the organization and the culture that they have within that organization that you might be interested to work for. Because, I mean, as we are studying, you definitely wish that I wish I could work for this organization. I don't want to mention any organizations in favor, but there's definitely an organization that you want to work for, or so that's what you get to learn more about from the professional that you've asked. So if you want to know about an executive position and you are still a graduate, right? You can still approach them in the same manner that you approach any other position, with respect and also being professional, because maybe you want to become a manager one day. So you would say that, you know what, I'm currently studying, so I want to know, you as a manager, how did you get to this level? What did you study? What experience was needed? Other roles, were the other registrations, and so forth. So these are the type of questions that you would be asking, Anonymous and colleagues. So Anonymous, I see Mrs. Makanya have provided a link for you there. Wandisile, what do I need to prepare before going to the interview? So as I've mentioned on the presentation, that what you need to prepare, firstly, you need to have done research, you have reflected regarding your vision, and you understand it by linking it to your interest, you link it to your values, your personality, and also your expectations, right? Now, when you've done this research regarding the occupation, organization, or the career field, you now have to prepare for questions as well. So you're going to follow those steps, the guidelines that I've given you in terms of preparation. So this live, the presentation will be available on YouTube. You can just go back and have a look at the 6 steps, the 6 guidelines that we've discussed today. Okay. Donald, what do I do with the info I gather? Okay. And how many people do I suggest to talk to? So, Donald, the information that you've gathered, you go back home, you reflect about it. From your first reflection regarding your vision, definitely you had questions and you had assumptions and you had uncertainties, right? So when you go back home after the interview, the information that you've gathered, you reflect about it and see if your expectations were covered, if your uncertainties were cleared, the assumptions that you had regarding the organization, or the assumptions that you had regarding the career field or the occupation, were they cleared up, right? And everything else, the job itself, the daily things that the professional does it meet your expectations? Does it link up with your values or not? Or does it contradict with your values? Because if it contradicts with your values or your personality, then there will be an issue at the end of the day if you still proceed with that career field going further. Okay. Okay, Anonymous again is saying, will we receive the presentation shared with us this morning? Definitely it will be published, as Lisa has said, on YouTube, and that's the link tomorrow. Okay, let me see other questions. All right, to please make an example of an open-ended question. One can ask, okay, this I've covered already. Okay. Okay, well, yes, so that is all for today. I see we've come to the end of the questions. I hope that we were able to cover your expectations for the day, and with the help of Lisa and Ms. Makanya, Mrs. Daisel and Ms. Makanya, that we were able to cover your expectations and sharing the links that you can utilize in order to gain more information and be well informed. Also have a look at the video that Lisa has shared, the YouTube video, so that you are well informed and you know more and learn more regarding informational interviewing. Thank you very much. If there are any other questions, you are welcome to pop them on the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Suna. I think for now those are the only questions, but if there are any questions that you want to make a follow-up on, please post them in the Q&A and we'll try to attend to them. The Virtual Grad Expo is taking place on the 17th of May, the 27th of July, and the 17th of August. And what we do at the Virtual Grad Expo is it helps you to chat with employers, with professional organizations and higher education institutions to plan your next steps. So we invite you just to kind of save the date in your calendars for the 17th of May. So that you can please attend the Virtual Grad Expo. You will find the updated information with the link of how to register and how to prepare for the Grad Expo on the My UNISA events calendar. And we also had a presentation yesterday where Mr. Amos Kova shared some tips on how you could prepare for the Virtual Grad Expo. Then just in terms of future career events, we have a CV writing workshop on the 18th of April. It's the recruitment process and what recruiters consider to be an attractive CV. On the 20th of April, we'll be talking about where to from here, planning for further studies and job search. And then on the 25th of April, we will have a session about getting the job interview skills. So just continuing with some further information that I want to share with you. The Grad Next brochure, it's actually a book, is free and you can download it from the web link that I've provided there on the screen. So it's a book that will help you to prepare for your next steps. There are articles and information in the book about personal branding, preparing for an interview, networking, writing CVs and cover letters, how to look for a job, and also starting your own business. So please take time to go and download the book and see what kind of information you can use in the book to help you manage your career. Then we would really love to hear from you. So if you have any feedback or suggestions about these career events that we are hosting, please send an email to Mrs. Mandu Makanya, and her email address is there up on the screen. You are also welcome to contact us at Counselling and Career Development. Our email address is counselling@unisa.ac.za. You can also book an online appointment with a counsellor by using the link that we've also shared with you. You can also contact a counsellor at a regional office. So please use that link to go and look for the contact information for the counsellor at the regional office closest to you. Our website at www.unisa.ac.za/counselling also contains a lot of information that can help you to manage your career more effectively. Our YouTube channel, I've posted a link in the Q&A as well. We publish all of the events that have taken place on our YouTube channel. So please also take time to go and visit the channel, subscribe, and go and look at the previous recordings that we've shared there. So to end off our session, I'm just going to invite my colleague, Mr. Beki Mzobe, to end the session off for us. Thank you, Beki.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and good day all. We have now come to the end of today's session under a topic, Informational Interviews for a Creative Job Search. On that note, I take this opportunity on behalf of my colleagues and the entire Directorate for Counseling and Career Development at UNISA to thank our guest speaker, Ms. Risuna Maluleke. We are grateful for your continued support, Ms. Maluleke. Today, you shared the valuable information with our students where you explained to our students what is information interview. Even myself, I didn't know what does that mean, but today I gained that information. You also explained the benefits and the purpose of conducting an informational interview. Also the guidelines, the tips on how to optimize an informational interview. So I conclude by saying presentation was informative and beneficial to our students. Once again, thank you so much, Risuna. Back to you, Lisa.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you for your patience to those who have attended. And please go and check out our YouTube channel for any other previous sessions, and then also on the My UNISA events calendar for the sessions that are coming up. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa, just before we go, I just want to encourage our students to also visit YouTube, the link that Lisa has just forwarded, just to watch the actual or sample of a mock informational interview, because it's something that is done practical. And if they go and visit that YouTube, they will see those and it will give them a perspective. It will make what Risuna has shared very clear. Thank you.